Hi, I'm Sam Smyth from Smyth and Motorcar Service here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Our website's Smyth, S-M-Y-T-H, and it's imports, imports.com. Our telephone number is 513-793-0434. Here's a new customer, Jaguar 2004. It's the XKR Super Charged. We wanted to show you this. This car had some body work done, and if you look right here, they didn't replace the oil cooler and it's all busted. See if you can hear that. The mounts, the straps. So when they did the repair on that, they didn't use it. This plastic piece that goes on it, they didn't replace that either for the customer. If you look at the condenser, it's all, even though the AC is working and whatnot, it's all damaged. The other core behind it is damaged. Everything's damaged, but it's not leaking, so they let it go on the car and gave it to the customer. So, and then we'll come back here. I'm not going to mention any names, but if you're going to get insurance work done on your car and you're going to get body work done, you may want to come see us. Like I said, it's Smyth, S-M-Y-T-H. It's like Smith, but without the I. You just put a Y there, here in Cincinnati, Ohio. And let us pay us to look at the car, pay us to sublet the car to our body shop and have it looked at and done and serviced right, and then pay us to have it picked up and make sure everything's done correctly. If you look right here too, they did the exhaust. This won't stay on. The exhaust was supposed to be replaced. You can see this is very, very old damage. So they replaced the pipes, these pipes here, right here. And they replaced these main pipes, and then I don't know what they got here, some sort of glue or something to smell and be obnoxious to the owner. There was a wire here, this wire here, this wire up here was laying down on the exhaust system as a so we're going to put it back up, tie strap it. So please keep in mind that also, this car is involved in a class action suit with many other cars, as they're not using factory parts. They're using a substandard aftermarket part, where aftermarket has higher quality parts than the factory, but people have abused that and they put cheaper parts on. Kind of like, let's just put the cheapest thing on it so we can sell the car, instead of putting a good quality part on and asking more money for the car. So aftermarket has been distorted highly, because aftermarket parts were much better, and they still are better than some factory parts. They'll go that extra distance. You know, they'll build bigger calipers and ceramics on the rotors and the pads and everything. So, I mean, there's just upgrades and upgrades. Not to knock the OEM factory, because they're of good quality too, but you can't go below. And if you look right here, the pins hanging out here, pins hanging out here. So this older gentleman has just been gotten, I mean, this is, when you add all this up, this is in the thousands of dollars. This isn't in the hundreds, this is in the thousands. You got to take the hood and the bumper back off again. And if you look, you can't see this car on this Jaguar, you can't see the actual damage on the car. Right here, it's the rider where it was busted too, so it needs a new one of those. So, but you know, it's so low down that, you know, you really can't see it. So it got a new nose put on it, but it didn't get the new undershield. It didn't get all these other pieces that are all bent up. So anyway, once again, this is going on Facebook, a couple other social medias. This is Sam Smyth from Smyth and Motorcar Service. I mean, this car, you know, it's got some scratches here and there, ding in the right rear, right passenger door, a couple of them, you know, and this and that. Understand that, like a bad wheel mark right here, you know, and whatnot. Well, we've even though this happened a couple years ago, you can see this wheel too is all marked up on the right hand side, where it's been got some curb rash, which is very common. You'll find on these type cars where you'll really have to take them apart and replace each part. This is a bolt together piece of wheel, so you know you can buy it in pieces. The logo cap piece, of course, is missing. This actually came in with a lug nut missing on the right rear too. So we're trying to put this car all back and safe for the gentleman. The other thing was the door panel was taken off on this car and wasn't put back right. So we did that, and if your door handle's loose, and as long as you don't let it get too loose on these, we can tighten them. You have to take the door panel off and be real careful so you don't bust clips and then have to Velcro it all back on, which is kind of like the way this one was. It had some clip, it had all the clips except I think one or whatever, and they just used the Velcro technique for the other one. We actually have tools designed to get behind the snaps to stop things like that from happening, and are much slower and easier to make sure we don't distort any of the leathers or the wood on the car. So you want to keep us in mind for any type of body work or anything done, even though that's not, you know, that we do that under restoration here, but we're a mechanical shop, so we're gonna definitely make sure you're gonna be taken all cared for it, and you don't leave a body shop. You know, as soon as the body shop's done, you need to tell them to bring it over here, or you know, you bring it over here and then have us pay for an inspection on the car and have us look at the car and make sure everything's covered under the insurance, because this gentleman had tapped somebody in the front, and so it was an insurance claim. So anyway, with that being said, this is a really nice car, but we've called, to get back to it, we've actually called the insurance company on his behalf, and even though this happened a couple years ago, we're going to try and get the thing reopened again. I think you only have 2 years. I don't know, I'm not sure what the Ohio law is on this or what, to actually, when you have body work done and you see things that aren't done right, you only really have 2 years to try and get your money or get it fixed or whatever the case is. I'm not sure on that, don't hold me to it, but we're going to find out on this car, because it has been a couple years. I mean, you can even see right here the clips, you know, got a gap in it and everything. So if you want quality work done for parts, labor, service on your Jaguar, your Ferrari, your Lamborghini, your MGB, you know, we don't care if you got a $4,000 MGB, we service those too. Yeah, our main specialty is Rolls-Royce and Bentley, and we're the only authorized Rolls-Royce or Bentley dealer as a Bentley Motorcar workshop by Bentley Motors of Crewe and VW in North America and the world. So if you want us to work on your little MG or Triumph or you know, Bug-Eye Sprite or whatever, please come see us. You know, it isn't all about just Rolls-Royces and Bentleys. We do lots and lots of sports cars, and we restore them. So here's an MGB GT that got a 5-speed conversion gearbox from Oss Motors. Steering wheel gauges rebuilt on it. A slotted and drilled discs. You know, it's got the upgrade on the SU carburetors. It had a motor. We took it out. It had a cracked block and a cracked head. And the other thing was it had the wrong year block in it. So we found a 74 block, punched it out, left the numbers on there so it shows it's 74, and we built it up from scratch after the machine shop did all the work we needed them to do. They don't build our engines, they just do everything we need to do, ask them to do. No offense to machine shops, but they're not engine builders, and we've seen a lot of damage come out of machine shops, not just every machine shop, but just machine shops, because they want to be an engine builder too. Well, if you want to be an engine builder, you go get trained by engine builders. You don't get trained by people that cut valves and bore engines out. That doesn't mean you can assemble them all correctly and put it all back. Now, if you were taught by somebody who did engines and you had a machine shop too, that's a different story. But we're not actually finding that here in Cincinnati in a lot of the cases. We're getting engines in where the wrist pins slide out and they damage up the cylinder. Valves are cut, so they don't last any length of time. They last you about a year or more, and then it starts burning oil. You know, we put in new valves, new valve guides, and new valve seats, or we replace the head if it's available, and a camshaft. We don't regrind our cams, we replace them unless one is completely not available. We're doing vintage Rolls-Royce or vintage Lamborghini or a Ferrari or a Jaguar, and maybe there might not be for like a Jaguar some Escuderian cams, and it's got Escuderian in it. We'll see what we can do about, you know, making those cams, which they don't really wear out, but you know, cleaning those up to reuse them. So it's all open here. So keep us in mind. Like I said, if you're going to get any body work done, after you get it done, you really need to come and pass for a diagnostic fee to go over your car and look at it all and make sure that everything under the car has been replaced. Because we're going to see how this goes. It is past what I think is a 2-year deadline, but this is so obvious with all this damage, you know, that once again you just start with the oil cooler hanging here with the old rubbers and all this surface damage and all this. This is not new. This is, you can see it's all, and then it's actually damaged behind the oil cooler. So in order to get to that, they had to move this out of the way. They had to take a lot of this stuff off. So so the gentleman, you know, and I think he had paid the insurance claim on it was like $5,800 at the time. Don't hold me to that either. So anyway, any further questions, please feel free to give us a call here in Cincinnati, 513-793-0434. And if you want us to look at any car, whether you think we work on it or not, give us a call. There's a lot of cars we work on people think we don't. We're not just Bentley and not just Rolls-Royce, once again. So, you know, and we help family members with their Hondas and Toyotas, and we take care of BMW, Mercedes, Jaguar here in Cincinnati. We do Ferrari. Yeah, we can list about all the, but our site actually on our homepage lists all the cars, but yet it doesn't list them all. There just isn't a page big enough to get everything of the cars that, since this company was founded in 1934, of all the work and the type of cars we have worked on, either in specialty, one of a kind, or mass produced. So once again, I'm Sam Smyth. This is regards to this Jaguar 2004 Supercharged. Came in for normal maintenance service and a 100,000 mile inspection, and we found all this work. Reported to the owner, and the owner told us he had all that fixed, and so he wanted pictures or a video in regards to all this, so we're doing exactly what the owner wishes. Thank you. All the best. Cheers.